Hello, my name is Matt Cobley, and I am presenting a behaviorist biography. The individual who I researched on was Dr. Matt Tinkani. Dr. Matt Tinkani is a professor at Temple University. Within the College of Education and Human Development, working within the departments of Special Education and Applied Behavior Analysis, or commonly known as ABA. Dr. Tinkani is also a chairperson of the Department of Teaching and Learning. Dr. Tinkani is a board certified behavior analyst, or commonly known as BCBA, since 2000, and is currently now a BCBA D. Dr. Tinkani focuses on application of behavioral principles to improve language, academic, social, and play skills of learners with autism spectrum disorders and other disorders. Some scholarly interests of Dr. Tinkani are the following: Skinner's analysis of verbal behavior, positive behavior support in school and community settings, scaling up of behavioral interventions, quality of life of people with disabilities, and single case designs. Dr. Tinkani's most recent work was exploring issues of publication bias in single case research. This is where he advocated for publishing studies that do not yield experimental effect. Now, in order to fully understand who Dr. Tinkani was, I chose 5 articles, peer reviews, and more. So, either a book or his dissertation. And I wanted to share with you all which 5 articles I decided really fit Dr. Tinkani's personality and really showed who he was or is. The first article or book that I viewed was titled Using a Modified Social Story to Decrease Disruptive Behavior of a Child with Autism, focusing on autism and other developmental disabilities. This was a study which was created to see if there was any significance when it came to prompting or not when using a social story, especially when working with a disruptive behavior individual. The second one is increasing teachers' use of a 1-to-1 praise to behavior correction ratio to decrease student disruption in general education classrooms. Praise to behavior correction ratio, behavioral interventions. This was a peer review on a study that was regarding whether using more praise or reinforcement would increase or decrease disruptive behavior in the classroom. Now, the third one is effects of selection-based versus topography-based communication training on the acquisition of commands by children with autism and multiple disabilities. This was Tinkani's dissertation on whether using picture exchange communication system, or commonly known as PECS, or using sign language was the most appropriate way to teach individuals how to man, which is also known as requesting for a preferred item or activity. The fourth one is racial disparity in administrative autism identification across the United States during 2000 and the year 2007. This was a study on how many individuals were in the school system under the IDEA Act and were diagnosed with autism. The group that they primarily focused on was minority groups. The last one that I would like to touch base on was preventing challenging behavior in your classroom, classroom management, and positive behavior support. This was an article on how educators could use preventative strategies in order to reduce problem behaviors in the education system. Now, when understanding who Dr. Tinkani was, I came up with 5 questions that I would ask if I were to interview him. The following questions are what I came up with and are as follows. What inspired you to become a board-certified behavioral analyst? The second one would be, what are the top 5 myths that you would want to debunk regarding applied behavior analysis? And then the third one would be, when speaking to an individual who is interested in becoming a BCBA, what would your top 5 recommendations, suggestions, and or advice be? My fourth question that I would ask would be, there are individuals who are in support of ABA, but there are individuals who disagree with ABA. What is the number one aspect of ABA that everyone should know about, and why is ABA important? And lastly, what has been the most rewarding aspect of being a BCBA D? Now, I just introduced who Tinkani was. I briefly discussed what articles, peer reviews, or Dr. Tinkani's dissertation, and I really went into what he advocates for when dealing with ABA, especially the group that he really studies. Now, why is Tinkani's work important to the field? It is very important to the field because he is showing that he is advocating for individuals with autism and other disabilities. Now, these groups do not get a whole lot of advocacy. And so it's really nice to see others advocating for individuals with autism and or other disabilities. Next, it is important because Tinkani is educating new findings to educators, service providers, or you can even say parents, caregivers, anyone who is interacting with an individual with autism or other disabilities. Next, Tinkani or his work is important because it's helping others understand why ABA is important and why It's not the worst thing, but basically, he's allowing others to view what ABA is and how it could benefit the individual. And lastly, Tikani's work is important to the field because he brings new techniques and ideas to others who might be creating treatment plans for individuals with disabilities, autism, um, and his findings are and techniques have research and have been proven that they could benefit, individuals who are being treated by ABA. Specifically, ABA targets behaviors. Um, we're not changing a person, we're changing the behavior itself. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed my slideshow or presentation. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to message me or leave a comment. Um, I really enjoyed sharing this with you. Have a great one. Thank you.